Kingdom, welcome. This week we're looking at 10 ways to master your time. Before we start with the 10 ways, I would like you to consider the 24 hours in a day. But of course, that 24 hours, that's all make-believe. It's man-made. Real time is completely different to made-up time, because in real time, if you're having a good time, it goes like that. Whereas if you're at work and you're particularly bored, it drags on. So that's your reality. Whereas you're looking at the clock, it says 4:30, you look back again, with what seems like an hour to you, it says 4:35. Anyway, I digress. Let's look at the 24 hours made up time. And most people sleep about 8 hours, so that leaves you with 16 hours. I would suggest that you evaluate what you do with those 16 hours. A lot of people work full-time, and that's usually about 8 hours in a day. So that leaves you with another 8. Sometimes you commute to work, that takes about 2 hours back and forth. That leaves you with 6 hours. You take about an hour to get yourself organized in the mornings, and that leaves you with 5 hours. That 5 hours, what do you do with that? For those of us who aren't working full-time, what do you do with those 5 hours? Most of us watch television or do something very, very unproductive with those precious, precious hours. This week, we want to look at ways to master your real time. Okay, so step one, you want to give yourself, I don't know, maybe about a week to look at everything that you do in that week. You know, how much time do you spend thinking, acting? What are you doing? You want to make a note of how you spend your time. Secondly, you want to then consciously decide what you want to spend your time doing. You want to create blocks within your day, sort of like start times and finish times. When I say a block, you want to say start at 7, finish at 8. Block your time off and schedule what's important to you. Thirdly, you want to spend at least 50% of your time doing the things that are going to get you to where you want to be. Now, there's no point in spending lots and lots and lots of time doing things that are completely unproductive, that have nothing to do with your goals in life. You want to spend a minimum of 50% of your time focused on what you want to achieve in life. Number 4, you want to schedule the interruptions, such as, and you know, the conversations with your friends. You want to schedule that because it's inevitable. People are going to want to talk to you that have nothing to do with your goals that you want to achieve. So you need to schedule those things in, and so it doesn't necessarily interrupt the flow of your day. Number 5, you want to really spend the beginning part of your day, at least 30 minutes, just deciding what you want to achieve in that day and scheduling your day out. Every day you want to sit down, decide, what am I going to achieve today? Write it down, schedule it. Number 6 is you want to set the intention. Before you make that call, before you attend that meeting, you want to decide how you want that to turn out. And in that way, you're sort of seeing the future before it actually occurs. And that is powerful. Number 7, it's helpful to put up a do not disturb sign when you're focusing. When you have that laser focus, the last thing you want is interruptions. So you want to put up a do not disturb signs, or at a minimum, let people know, do not disturb me. I'm focusing on this for 2 hours. Just leave it. Number 8, get into the habit of not answering the phone sometimes. Switch your ringer off. Switch off your alerts. That way, you spend the time doing what you actually want to be doing, rather than being disturbed by things that aren't necessarily that important to you. Number 9, it's important to block out all of the additional distractions. Things like Facebook and social media, those things aren't necessarily helping you to achieve your goal unless you're using them for marketing. You need to block those things out so that you have that laser focus on what's important to you. Social media and Facebook takes up far too much time in a day. When you're doing that step number 1, you would be surprised how much time you spend surfing the internet. Waste of time. And finally, it is impossible to get everything done in a day. So sometimes you have a list or schedule of things that you want to accomplish in a day and you don't achieve anything on that list. Be easy on yourself. It's okay. You know, Rome wasn't built in a day and all that good stuff. Okay, so that's the end of 10 steps to mastering your time. I hope you found that helpful. I want you to have an amazing week. I plan to. As always, love always.